I'm starting this. Can you type in the chat quickly?
Nice try.
Oh, frick, I have to... Where is this stupid window? Alright, I guess I'm deleting this stupid window when I have to start a new one. Or wait. Oh, Sparrow's in, so yeah, the chat works.
Hooray!
Alright, so now I'm actually going to start up my thing. Some mid-flight entertainment while we talk about the glorious experience of the flu.
I think I got the flu. I felt sick at work Sunday, and then I still feel sick now. 2 days off. I go back to work tomorrow, so I get sick way too easily sometimes.
Yeah, he says he doesn't get sick often, but it hits him like a freight train when he does.
What about you?
I've had numerous bouts with the flu, and I've always, like, the first couple of times at least, I've described it as a 3-day process. Day 1, day 2, day 3.
Oh, this will be day 3 for me. Hopefully by tomorrow it'll be cured.
Like, legit, day 1 was always... Day 1, I would always have a freaking sore throat, and that would be the warning sign. Right there. Day 2, all the freaking boogers would start up, and that would be that would be the day I'd like to call the death phase, where you can barely speak, you're constantly using tissues. I wouldn't say the cough would start just about yet, but you would also have I would also have a severe lack of energy. Like, the first big time I ever had the flu, it happened to be the same day I had to give a big midterm presentation in a Photoshop class. And... Alright, looks like we're good with no dropped frames.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Go ahead, change my mic.
Oh, God. And I'm trying to think now. You know what? Alright, I need to finish telling this story. Oh my god. Alright, so, like I said, I had to give a big midterm presentation for a Photoshop class. And I made it through, thank God, but then I actually left class early, even though the teacher was not there because he was doing other presentations with the other kids. But I ended up leaving a bit earlier since I felt like all my projects were done. And I immediately go back to the dorm room, thankfully, Angry Face Man and boyfriend weren't there to freaking witness it. I basically dropped freaking dead on the couch, and I turned on a freaking Blu-ray I had just gotten in the mail. I fell asleep on it. Like, I wake up like 4 hours later, and I figure I need to go get myself dinner before Legends of Tomorrow comes on. I try to get off the couch. I don't have the energy to do so. Like, it takes me a good 15 minutes just to get up. And then the whole time I had to walk from the dorm room to the student center and back, I felt weak. Both legs felt pretty weak. It was as if I was barely able to walk. I ended up not even sleeping well that day. Like, I think MarioTube streamed the Infinite Warfare beta that day, and I was there, and then eventually I kind of left voluntarily because I was going in and out of consciousness that day. And eventually I just left voluntarily, and then I proceed to keep waking up after every half hour, and then my ma comes to pick me up early. But then by then, it was day 3, when most of the boogers had subsided, and it was more or less just a little cough. And the cough usually would stick around for like a few days to maybe a week or 2 afterward. Alright, now I have to go to the bathroom because that's why I couldn't focus.
Okay. Alright, well, I guess till... so now... Time for my story. Well, let's see. I always had a weak immune system. And... just... God, I can't think right now. I missed 2 weeks of 4th grade once because I was sick. That's another short podcast, probably. Like Sparrow says, they me have a ton of bricks right now.
Alright, so you told your story?
Kind of more like me just mumbling.
Okay. Oh, fuck.
I said I got sick a lot as a kid, missed 2 weeks of 4th grade. Ton of bricks, like Sparrow said. Gosh. I thought I could put off getting the... Maybe I should got the flu shot a little earlier. I thought, yeah, I can wait a little for the flu shot. Apparently not. Apparently this is them saying, hey, idiot, go get your shot.
Oh, I tell you this much, though. You also get the people that are paranoid of flu. I mean, well, then again, the flu shot can also be done via nasal spray.
I've heard about that. I never got... I think that's more of a... I think the nasal spray one is more like dead vaccine, or not. The flu shot is more alive, and the nasal one's not as alive, I heard.
I mean, I guess I can understand that, but then the actual flu shot... the actual flu shot, you have all these concerned parents that
say it causes autism.
Yeah, and other conditions too. In fact, apparently the reason why Charlie Sheen's marriage failed is because he is a firm believer that flu shots are bad.
Hey, Buckysaurus is here too.
He's here.
Yeah, I remember we talked about this a little. I think we talked about this on season 3, anti-vaxxers.
I mean, the second time I came down with the flu was actually during the famous Crash Bash stream. Like, when that crap went down, I was in the day 1 phase, and I had a sore throat and everything. In fact, when Brandon actually broke that disc of Shrek, I was laughing so hard that the freaking sore throat I had was actually... It actually kind of impaired my breathing, and I was, like, noticeably wheezing a lot during that. Hyperventilating. That, well, turned into hyperventilating.
I couldn't tell.
Do you want me to play the audio from it? Because it does get pretty obvious. In fact, I even yell, I can't breathe. Alright, you know what? Fine. We'll play the audio from it. Sorry for this improper podcast where I play freaking gameplay of the Resident Evil Ultimate Director's Cut. And how I'm using freaking audio from other stuff.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah,
for content.
Yeah, there's that. We're being a bit unique, I suppose. Oh, now we got the coffin. There we go.
Not yesterday, I think 2 days ago, a day or two ago, I was doing the throwing up.
See, anytime I've had the flu, I never vomited. Funny thing is, the most recent time I vomited, I don't think that was the flu. Like, I think I somehow got a stomach bug.
That could have been it too, maybe. I might have ate some bad chicken, or ate some bad chicken at the reunion. Or maybe I had some bad alcohol at the reunion.
That either one's a possibility. And the whole thing with that is, well, that was another story of me getting sick, but first, we are going to play the audio from the fabled Crash Bash stream.
Hell yeah.
Now here's what I recommend you do
Brandon,
to
you
the
got
patient.
nice. You got split throat.
Here's what we do to the patient.
Yeah. Yeah. Woo. Woo.
Say goodbye to the ogre. He is never again gonna be soft. Oh, take your fucking case with you. Take your
what's that
fucking
about?
shitty case with you. Take your fucking bullshit with you, sir. Fuck off my stick.
Brandon,
I heard it.
Brandon, I don't know if you can hear me right now, but currently I love you. No homo.
And right there, that there was me hyperventilating. And then the next day after that, was the death phase.
I think I'm on the death phase now.
I mean, well, the key feature of the death phase is that you have a lack of energy. At least that's what happened with me.
Yesterday I was
And-
walking. Oh, maybe it was, yesterday I had energy too, but I had to go to the doctor.
No!
So I was walking around everywhere. But I had no choice. I named the doctor to get better. It was the doctor. It was the head doctor to get my test back. So yesterday I rode the bus downtown. Then I went to the Apple store to check prices on new Apple cords, and I rode back up to the hospital to get my test results without trying not to throw up. And I came back home about 5-ish, I guess, and I kind of passed out. I think I slept for like almost 18 hours.
Yeah.
Not really slept, but more like phased in and out for 18 hours. I woke up a little bit, saw your message, and asked you, "Are you streaming?" I think you should know. Like, okay.
Well, no. I think you were disoriented. What I was saying was the last time I streamed, I was playing Resident Evil Code Veronica, and I wanted to demonstrate the infinite healing herb glitch, but then I failed, so I discarded the save. And what I was saying was, I went back into the game, I worked my way back to that point, and I saved the game just before doing the glitch, so next time I stream the game, I'm ready to demonstrate.
I probably was a little out of it yesterday. A little of it right now. Yeah. I think last time I was this sick was back in December. I wouldn't really flu back then. It was more like strep throat or something. I couldn't breathe, couldn't talk, couldn't do anything. Couldn't even sleep. I think I was almost awake for like 2 days almost back then. Because every time I fell asleep, I had a panic attack, couldn't breathe. I had a panic attack really, but my throat was closing. Every time I laid back, if I laid down, so I had to try to sleep sitting up.
Wait,
do that well.
What the fuck? Analog off? What the hell? I want it on! Sorry about that, but... So... Yeah, that does sound a lot like the death phase of the flu right there. But I will say, further times I got the flu, it's almost as if the body got used to it, because the symptoms would never be as pronounced. Like, yeah, the sore throat would start on day 1, but then day 2 would be the boogers, but there wouldn't really be anything more beyond that, and then day 3 would be the end of the sore throat and the coughing would begin. But no lack of energy, no feeling as if you're dying, which was weird.
It didn't really have a sore throat this time around. Sunday, I started feeling nauseous and like I felt like I was throwing up. And I actually did throw up. Then, so maybe it's not the flu. Maybe it's just a stomach bug. But it's still, whatever it is, it just fucking sucks.
Yeah, well, all I know is so I went to go get to my honors ceremony to get my freaking cum laude cords. I was coming, that happened to be the day I was starting to come down with a stomach bug. It was on one of my live streams. I was doing a bit of a Wheel Decide marathon. I was trying to play Castlevania Circle of the Moon, but I was getting so freaking nauseous that I was basically forced to quit. And then I went on a stream with Brandon, and Brandon was playing Space Invaders, and eventually I kind of fell asleep on him because of how bad it was, though... Funny thing is, I did wake up towards the end. And then the next day, like, legit, if I stood up, like, I would just feel incredibly nauseous, and I would just lay down for extended periods of time. My mom and dad were like, but you can't miss your ceremony, and I didn't want to miss it either. So, I got dressed up in the cap and gown and everything, but as soon as I got there, I tried my damnedest to sit down for as long as possible. Like, everyone was lining up, but I just simply sat down on a bench until it was time for us to start walking. And
do you remember walking, or you guys all a blur?
I do remember walking. It's not a blur. I was definitely in the right mindset. So, of course, what didn't help matters is that we had to walk slowly, of course. And I was towards the back of the line, so I was among the last people to sit down.
Yeah.
And...
So, and what?
And, of course, the ceremony begins, and, of course, it's that part of the ceremony where we have to remain standing. I mean, thankfully, I happen to be sitting right next to, a coworker from my internship, and she was basically, she knew a lot of the operations for, like, ceremonies like this, and she just said if I wasn't feeling well, that it was okay to sit down. And she warned me that if I needed to get up and go, if I needed to, like, freaking vomit or something, that I get up and go. So, that's exactly what I did. I sat down, and then we finally get to the point where everyone else is able to sit down. And, unfortunately for me, that was not stopping the vomiting. I gradually got more and more nauseous, and then I felt, oh my god, it's coming. So I asked her if I can get up and go, and she's like, yeah, and then everyone scooched back in their seats so I could get by. I try to make it outside. There's like 2 sets of doors that lead to the outside. I get through the first set of doors, didn't make it. I freaking vomit straight on the floor, and I fell to both knees. There were a couple of employees bystanding, and they saw me, and I get up and I start to walk back in. Encore. I vomit again.
I would have like that's when I'd like try should I keep going outside or to the bathroom at least.
I don't know what I was thinking. Wait a minute.
See, I threw up at work one time in the bathroom on the floor. Couldn't make it to the toilet in time.
Yeah, I guess there's that.
I threw up a few times in my living room on the carpet because I couldn't make it to the bathroom again. But the only time I did it in public wasn't because I was sick, but I was I was like on one of those spinny tire swing things with a bunch of other kids, and I forget who threw up first. It was maybe somebody else. I think it might have been someone else who threw up, and them throwing up made me throw up. Like a chain reaction.
That's like that scene from the Goonies where freaking Chunk throws the fake puke over the balcony of the movie theater and everyone starts getting sick and throwing up all over each other.
I forget who did it first. It was like a chain reaction.
In your case?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, getting back to my story. So, of course, immediately custodians are called to clean up the mess, and, like, everyone's asking if I'm okay. They end up calling an ambulance. And, of course, since the ambulance was, my mom and dad come out, and they're like, and my mom's like, why'd you call an ambulance? Because, I mean, I was even thinking to myself, why'd they call an ambulance? But they said now that the ambulance has been dispatched, they have to come and check me out, but I just have to refuse service to the hospital. So yeah, they came and saw that everything was normal, but then they were asking me if I wanted to go to the hospital, and I didn't want my mom and dad spending money over just simple me throwing up on the floor.
Were you like a minor then still, or were you in college?
This was college. This was this year.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god!
I'm getting some water real fast. Oh, Spirit has a question for it.
Yeah, explicit hacking and modding, you take it this isn't normal Resident Evil. What this is a ROM hack called the Ultimate Director's Cut. Basically, it's the DualShock edition of the Resident Evil Director's Cut. However, it restores all... It does what the original Director's Cut intended, and it restores all the uncensored scenes from the original Japanese version. And it also restores the original soundtrack from the Black Label original version of the game, since the DualShock edition added in the farting trumpet music that's ever so famous.
What can I say about farting being famous?
It was... No, the original Resident Evil DualShock Edition Director's Cut put in a stupid soundtrack nobody liked.
Alright. So you got better after that then?
No, I did not. I hope this isn't Chris's fart. It's really powerful, especially against living things.
So what's the rest of the story?
Alright, so we figured, my mom and dad figured, we'll just wait until you get given your cord, and then we'll leave. So we waited until they specifically started. At first, we were led to believe that we had missed the cum laude ceremony. But then an employee went in and verified they didn't call all the cum laude people yet. So we go back in and we're sitting in the back, and I think an employee was with us to direct us when it was when cum laude was being called. So, I'm sitting back there for a while, and of course, right as they're about to say, cum laude people, come on stage to get your cords, I start feeling the nausea come on again. I get up, and I actually kind of hurried my way to the front of the line. I was the second person to get his cord. We actually got this on video. I don't think I have the video. I don't think it's on my camera's SD card, but I don't know if I copied it over yet. But, so, the video shows me going on stage, and I face the audience, I get my cord put on by the president. Or, I think it was either the president or one of his assistants, and I definitely shook the president's hand at one point.
The college president, right?
The college president, yes.
Not
Not that president.
You threw up on him?
I was quite close to doing it on stage, yeah. But thank God I didn't. So, I get my cord put on, I face the audience, I put a smile on, but let's just say the nausea was getting to its peak at that point. So I walk off stage, holding it in as best as I can, and then immediately I go out the first exit door I pass. And my dad was filming it, and he caught me going out the exit door, but I go behind the door, and the last thing you hear is my ma saying, "Oh, he just went behind the door, let's go." And right when I went through the door, I freaking fell to the floor and vomited again. So, and of course, there were people who saw me do it, and they were coming to ask if I was okay. I kept saying, I'm okay, no hospital, no hospital. So my mom and dad come, they're like, they grab all my stuff, and we went straight to the car. I lay down in the car, and as soon as we got back home, I just went straight on the living room couch, and I stayed there until things settled down. And then I went to my sister's room, which had air conditioning and everything, and I actually stayed there the whole day. I don't even think I ate anything. I didn't really even eat a thing that day. Like, legit, all I got was a freaking buttered roll from a freaking donut shop that my mom visited before we drove to the ceremony, and I probably vomited all that out. And then I didn't eat anything else that day until my ma freaking cooked me chicken noodle soup later.
Well, that sounds really good right now. I think I haven't given it though.
You're saying that sounds good?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think I have soup.
Since my sister said that she's probably not gonna FaceTime, I might actually try playing Code Veronica again later.
Did you get that code to work?
Well, I know how to do it now, so yeah, I can demonstrate it, and even if I fail, I save the game, so all I have to do is reset the save.
Alright, so...
I don't know, like, you know what's funny? I feel like this is the only game I'm better at than Brandon, because Brandon's a god at everything else, and I'm not.
Let's see... Huh.
Oh.
What? So any other stories of being sick? Yeah, I don't think I have anything that matches your story.
You don't?
I don't think I do. Well, I guess if the flu is gone now and getting sick, yeah. Besides, I guess we talk about Jesse's ideas. What do you know about something about the IGN
The
plagiarization?
IGN plagiarism incident? Oh, I have seen videos on that crap.
I will change the subject title and let's get going.
I have seen that shit. Here we go. There. And I open up Skype again, and then I open up this, so... So you don't know anything about this story?
Nope, didn't know anything about it until Games for Us put it in chat.
Alright. So, what happened was... There was this... this small-time guy on YouTube, I forgot what his name was, but I mean, the guy, his name is known. Like, it is known exactly what guy on YouTube was affected by this. he made a review of an indie game on the Nintendo Switch called Dead Cells. So, he did his review of the game, and that was that. Well, it came time for IGN to do a review of the game, since the game was, I think it's brand new, I don't know. So, IGN did a review of the game, and I kid you not, the guy they had assigned to do it was always reviewing Nintendo products for IGN, and the thing is, IGN does not really have a good reputation as a game reviewer. So what happened was, this writer, he found this guy's review, the small YouTuber's review of Dead Cells, and more or less, he copied, in his video review, he more or less completely ripped off the small YouTuber's review, almost word for word. Like, legit. I mean, he did twist some words around, like it wasn't an exact copy and paste, but more or less the exact same format was there. People quickly caught on to the fact that it was plagiarism.
This is cool. You think about that people would know that that a lot of people would know the small YouTuber is smaller than IGN.
I mean, the guy on YouTube, I think he has at least 10k subs. I mean, maybe that was an increase after, because let's just say the incident gave him a lot more attention. So, what happened was, people quickly caught on that it was plagiarism, and they were, like, freaking up IGN's ass over that, and IGN later did the right thing, and they fired the writer. And they took the review down, pending a re-review by another person. But, surprise, surprise, the guy who plagiarized, the writer that plagiarized, he made a video basically doing a non-apology. Like, basically, all it was him freaking saying, oh, this was all just a big coincidence and misunderstanding. Now my family's being attacked and everything. Basically playing the victim. Freaking, that's one thing I can't stand. When you bring everything upon yourself and then you play the victim. Like, legit, there's a reason I hate that. I did it! As middle school schnick.
Like you put that in your game?
Well, yeah, the freaking, well, in the original shitty RPG, yeah, like let's just say middle school schnick put in references to people that were quote unquote bullying him, even though he kind of brought that upon himself because he was an idiot.
Alright, go on.
Well, that's basically the story.
Oh. So he like I am so sorry I plagiarized. I totally didn't mean to do it.
I think the idea was that, oh, I didn't plagiarize it. Our scripts just happened to be similar.
I mean, I guess that could happen if it's too similar.
Well, no, like there's a fine line between having similar opinions and right down to copying the frickin' format and just almost doing everything word for word except for changing a few words around.
I mean, that's a little too similar. Like, I can't help it if we have the same ideas and the same vocalization and the same. He might. Good thing it was a video review and it had the voices. Well, his voice is like my voice too.
Uh-huh, exactly.
Like one time, somebody did that to me on YouTube one time, that they copied my top 20 SES video word for
yeah, no, they didn't copy it word for word. They just copied it.
I know, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, they just freaking copied it and re-uploaded it.
I think you're the one that saw it.
Yeah, I remember when that happened.
It's like this is Video 98 and Hauser doing this review. Like, huh, that's weird.
Yeah, except that's not... I mean, it's one thing to re-upload a lost video if the original uploader happens to lose it, or the original uploader doesn't want people to see it, but the fans do. Like what happened to JonTron.
Yeah. But no, that video is still up on my channel, so...
Yep, so
and
therefore
it's
you
not...
have full right to take it down.
I know, it wasn't even like they hey... Like they edited or reviewed, like they little editing, like, hey, this is a review, this is a stupid review, it sucks. They're like, nope, copy paste.
That was a little bit weird. I think after I save the game, I might actually play Castlevania on the Saturn.
Ooh.
Alright, stupid zombie, turn around, go!
Let's see. What about you? Have you ever plagiarized anything or having anything plagiarized from you?
There was a point when fucking elementary school schnick attempted plagiarizing schoolwork. But that was just elementary school schnick, not even knowing what plagiarism was.
So what happened?
Hello.
Oh, Jesse's here.
Welcome,
So,
Jesse.
let's just say... So, I told this story before, but in 2nd grade, like, every year in elementary school, every grade would be assigned, a country to study for the quote-unquote multicultural fair. In 2nd grade, we had to do Ireland. And our very first assignment for Ireland was to answer a simple question. What do you know about Ireland?
That it's Irish.
It has potatoes.
I tell you this much, elementary school schnick could not understand the concept of simply answering, I don't know a damn thing about Ireland. So, he looked over to one of his classmates, and she was writing, I know that Ireland was originally formed 2 million years ago, or something along the lines of that. I just started copying her. I copied her, basically, like, she was a smart kid, and she used some complex words for our age, so I just copied. All I copied was, I know that Ireland 2 mil.
Are you kidding me?
I didn't even know
Wow.
million was a number back then.
Wow.
But then, freaking in 5th grade, we had to write it. We had to answer some short. We had to do some short answer questions based on a book we were. No, we had to do short answer questions from this history book. Like, we were looking into something. Like, we were studying some... I think we were studying the Day of the Dead. Or, like, holidays. Like, I don't know. Like, I had to write something about the Day of the Dead. I was answering the questions by just copying the sentences from the passages verbatim. But, thankfully, the assistant teacher, because in 5th grade, there was a main teacher and a student teacher. The student teacher quickly caught on, and she's like, no, you can't copy this word for word. And then she made me redo it. By then, it was beaten into my thick skull, you can't copy things word for word, and I stopped doing it. Thank God.
There was this one girl who, this was literally in kindergarten. There's this one girl, and I would do something, she'd copy it. Then she'd look over at me and be like, why are you copying me? She'd reverse card me, and I'd be like, what? And she's like, yeah, you copied my work. And I'd be like, what? No, I didn't.
The fuck? That's like goddamn. That's. I almost wanted to say that was something that DSP would do, but no, that's just. That's. I think that's someone that. I'm trying to think who would do that. Like, oh, that sounds like something an abusive spouse would do. Like, freaking an abusive spouse is like yelling at you and hitting you, and when you threaten to leave them, they cut themselves and say you did it.
Wow.
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
But yeah, it was really stupid. Like, there was this one point where I made sure to draw this. Like, we had this weird assignment or whatever. It's like, we had to each draw our own. Or no, we had to each color in a present. I forget what for. But we had these little cards with like a picture of a present on it. A very simple one that we would color. Like, make sure your ribbon's a certain color, make sure your base is a certain color, and everyone has to do it differently. So I started coloring mine, and I think the box was yellow and the ribbon was red. She completely copies me, and then I'm like, what, miss, she copied me? And then she's like, no, he did. And for some reason, she decided to freaking go with the girl's word for it, and said, why did you copy her? And then I said, I didn't. And then she said, go make another one. So I had to go and make another one.
Did she get caught?
Nope, no, not once. Not
What?
once.
What?
I know. You
What?
can imagine how I felt.
I swear to freaking God, I swear for that girl's sake that she learned, because if she starts plagiarizing, it's gonna come down on her hard. Because there's a couple of things that freaking society does not, that media and society do not tolerate, and plagiarism is one of them. And if you're caught doing it, your whole career is over. No questions asked. Done. Zip. You're through. Fired. Get out.
Are you guys talking about the IGN debacle where...
Oh yeah, we did.
We just got down with it when you came on.
Oh. But yeah, he was, I'm not sure if you guys know, but he did try to issue an apology statement, but basically it was just a huge misunderstanding.
Well, I'm
the victim. So.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Oh my God, now I need to change the capture.
So, about our first subject, you ever been sick before?
Yes. I had...
Like, how bad?
No!
The longest I've ever been sick was about a week. And I had what I made up called the fling flu, where I felt super dizzy, super sick. And when I would stand still, I just felt super dizzy. And I called it a fling flu because it felt like I was being flung into the air. That's how strange it felt. But yeah, and I was completely loony and just out of it for the entire week. I was like talking to myself. I was straight up crazy. Then one time when I wake up and I realize, oh, I don't feel that bad anymore after like a week of torture. And then I get up by myself and walk, and I realized, man, I was completely out of it there for a while.
What the frickin' hell?
Problems with your Saturn?
Yeah, I guess it refuses to be covered because I can't freaking show it.
Sega. To take this good, it takes ages. To take this good, it needs Sega.
Yeah, you missed Snick's story. He got sick almost got sick on stage.
I did get
From-
I did get sick on stage, but I held it in until I got off the stage.
Yeah, he almost threw up on his college president.
You're gonna spew, Schnick. Spew in the cup.
Like,
Oh
I was like,
no! I broke it.
for a second, I thought like the president. I'm like, you almost threw up on the president of the United States.
Oh. Oh.
Ay, ay, ay.
If that happens, they could be
Yeah.
they could be famous, all right. The podcast would be a lot more popular.
No, I think
Prob-
we might be
a lot more
infamous
angry.
if that happened.
Infamous.
Person from famous podcast or from president.
Unfamous.
Use that
Not-
use that 11.
What the
Contrary to
hell?
popularity, not all popularity is good.
I guess I freaking broke the Saturn thing.
Alright, next game.
Fucking bullshit.
Let's see. Alright.
You know what's one thing I found annoying for a few years? SpongeBob specials. Well, more specifically, their commercials for them.
Alright, well, we'll wait for Snick to get back so you can change the topic for the next topic, which I think is cartoon channel websites.
And I don't know what to add to that because I haven't been on Nick.com or CartoonNetwork.com in eons.
Well, I guess
Talk about it.
Jesse knows about it, I guess, so he can change the topic and he can talk about when he knows about it.
So, Cartoon Network site, I forget what it is. I think it's cartoonnetwork.com.net, something like that. But for a while, it's been straight up losing shows. Like, there used to be a section where you'd have 2 tabs to scroll through. Now there's only 1 tab. You have Teen Titans Go, Original Teen Titans, Powerpuff Girls Reboot, and various other shows that may be interesting. But one thing that happened is that a lot of the shows that were on there are just not on there anymore and switched to the Boomerang channel. So they're just not there anymore. And second, when you actually click on the show to watch it, it is super messy. Like, it is just super hard to find it. Like, when you go to Teen Titans Go, you have a section that's like, oh, go see the rest of the episodes, and then you get like a decent list, like 3 seasons, all of that. But for some reason, when you click on the normal Teen Titans, it brings you to like a random episode, like season 5, episode 4 or something. And the only thing you could do is click next episode. But when you click next episode, it's like season 6, episode 2. And there is no option to go and look through the entire thing. It's just super messy. Nick.com is also really messy now, because all their shows are laid up on top in bubbles. And when you try to, and it's just an icon. Like, it doesn't say iCarly or it doesn't say SpongeBob SquarePants. No, it's just a bubble image. So, yeah, you can kind of see the Schneider stuff.
No.
Other cartoons. Well,
Sorry.
and stuff like that. But it's not organized by year or anything. It's just kind of up there. And when you click on one, instead of having a neat organized list, you get like a 3x3 kind of grid, and you scroll downward. And sometimes a 3x3 grid would be filled with ads instead of actual episodes. And those episodes are not laid out in any discernible order. It's just super messy.
Not by
Like-
seasons, not by titles, just by randomness.
Yeah, pretty much. You see, like, season 1, episode 4, blah blah blah, iCarly. And then next to it would be season 8, episode 3, blah blah blah. And it's just like, why? And even in the Powerpuff Girls section in the CartoonNetwork.com, it would have episodes of the reboot in it for some reason. It is very strange.
What about
And just not.
See, what about Disney?
Disney? I don't really know much about their Disney stuff because I don't watch Disney all that much. But it is super messy. What was I gonna say before I said this? Oh yeah, SpongeBob specials. One thing that's always irked me about SpongeBob specials is they're always super they're almost like clickbait, honestly. They're like, find out what the Krabby Patty's secret formula is, finally, in this SpongeBob two-parter. And you get to it, and it's just not has anything to do with what the actual commercial says. And then...
Oh, I think the episode The Clash of Triton was the ultimate freaking FU to viewers who bothered to watch the commercials.
Yeah.
Like, legit, the commercials made it out to be like, oh, SpongeBob has to get into a big showdown with the son of King Neptune. And legit, the commercial just shows like SpongeBob getting ready, like basically putting his fists up to fight and Triton destroying the city. Legit, all that happens in the episode is more or less Triton just fires a laser in Bikini Bottom once, and he crashes through the Krusty Krab window once. Most of the episode is actually Neptune trying to restore his relationship with Triton.
Triton, the father of... So that means Neptune...
I think I remember that.
So that means Neptune is Ariel's grandfather.
Well,
I guess.
King Neptune in SpongeBob is very strange. They changed his design like 3 times.
Well, no, I think he only has 2 designs. There's the original design that was like in the
the original design is slightly different from the newer version of the old design. There's like
and then there's the movie design.
Yeah, then there's the movie design where he's like a completely different person.
Yeah, because in the movie he had a daughter, and in the TV series he had a son.
Yeah, in the TV show he's blue and has like a red beard.
Unless that daughter had an operation from the movie in this.
Okay.
No.
The movie daughter is a transsexual and became a guy in the TV series.
No, the movie is said to take place after the series.
Yeah. Perhaps there's a new King Neptune.
Or because there's actually a joke in the movie that implies that SpongeBob had won like 4 million Employee of the Month awards, implying that the movie is set a long time after the start of the series. So maybe King Neptune just started getting old.
Maybe I guess he had a daughter later on.
Yeah.
You know what's the first time I've ever didn't really like SpongeBob? It actually did have to do with the specials. Like, for some reason, I let myself get really hyped up as a child for Truth or Square. So I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like the SpongeBob movie too. I don't know what I was thinking. Something dumb. And what ended up happening was the actual thing ended up being a really bad special. And of course I didn't. And then after I watched it, I was like, huh.
I will say
something.
I'll say this much.
I realized I didn't like it.
I tried to get myself hyped up for both Truth or Square and Atlantis Square Panis. And Atlantis Square Panis, I actually did watch it on the night it premiered. And I will say I was very underwhelmed, particularly because it was a freaking musical and none of the...
pretty much a musical.
It was a musical and none of the advertisements made it seem like it was a big adventure with none of the songs in sight.
Is that the one where they each got their own little area, science area for Sandy and, and Bubbles for Patrick?
I actually did like that. Like, it wasn't what I expected, but I did like the songs and all that. When I was looking back on it, it wasn't really that cool. I just mostly appreciated the animation and the style of it.
Like the
game is not that good, though.
Yeah, the game is pretty bad.
So I remember they was like, oh, sorry, no big deal. You popped the bubble, what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
yeah,
not
I
to
like-
mention
I like
freaking
how-
the freaking leader of Atlantis is voiced by the late David Bowie.
Yeah. Very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's also kind of funny the joke they did where SpongeBob and Patrick are super scared. They pop the bubble, and then the leader's like, "Oh no, we would never display the real bubble. The real bubble's right here." And then Patrick takes a snap of it, and it pops. And then that's when they should be afraid.
But so the whole problem with Atlantis SquarePants is that it wasn't what people were expecting, and it was probably the most infamous episode of the series up to that point.
Yeah.
I will say, probably the first SpongeBob episode I outright hated was Good Neighbors.
Is that just the? Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Where
Yeah, Good Neighbors.
SpongeBob
I
and Patrick
hated.
wore the
That was the
fezzes.
first episode I hated so much that anytime it came on, I would actually change the channel.
It was just Squidward torture.
It was more or less the first Squidward torture porn.
The only thing that I liked from that episode is the security, like when Squidward house turns alive. I like that part.
Yeah, but
all
then
the other
Squidward
stuff-
getting punished for Sponge and Pat.
Yeah. Literally everything else I do not like about the episode. The only thing I enjoy is the animation. Everything else is poo-poo. Doo-doo.
Yeah. Like, serious. And, like, the whole thing is, it's all it is Squidward trying to enjoy his Sunday, but then for some reason Sponge and Pat decide they need to be the ultimate good neighbors, and they put on these freaking fez hats with the Illuminati symbol, and they just start ruining his day.
Yeah, they just start acting really weird and annoying. It's like, there's one thing when SpongeBob and Patrick are naive, but there's another thing when they're straight up just being annoying to be annoying.
Yeah, I also hated the episode Cephalopod Lodge for the same reason. I didn't think it was as bad, but
Was that the one where he goes to that squid community?
yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's no. You might be thinking of the one where he moves to Tentacle Acres. Like, not that one. It's a different one.
It's like a pyramid.
Like,
of
basically,
squid.
it's like a club, basically.
Yeah, it starts off where SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs are kind of looking at Squidward, and Squidward's being happy, waiting for his day to end. They're like, "What's wrong with Squidward?" And then Squidward's like, "Going to my club," and then SpongeBob and Patrick choose to investigate, and they follow him and basically kind of ruin his chances at his initiation.
Yeah, basically, they break in, and because freaking it's on. I guess we're changing the subject to
SpongeBob specials, or just cartoon specials.
bad SpongeBob episodes. There we go. So, yeah, and I've given up on playing games because freaking I don't want to break anything else. In fact, after this podcast ends, if I'm gonna do, I mean, I'm probably just gonna play Code Veronica if I stream, but after this ends, I do have to check and see if the Saturn emulator broke. But what happened is, it's a club only for like, because Sponge and Pat aren't octopuses like Squidward, like, and because they openly say, "Oh, Squidward brought us in here," like, they kick him out because of it.
I remember that a little bit.
So, yeah, like, Good Neighbors was the first episode I outright hated. As for Truth or Square, I actually missed the premiere because right when the premiere was about to start, my mom and dad came downstairs with my sister, and they're like, "Oh, let's play Wii Sports."
I don't want to play Wii Sports.
And yeah, we play Wii Sports, and of course they don't leave until
Exactly an hour.
No, they don't leave until about an hour after the special ended.
Wow. So like 2 hours.
Yeah, they were down there for 2 hours. Thankfully for me, there was a rerun of the special the next day, but that was the heavily cut down version of the special where they cut out most of the patchy scenes.
So you got lucky, is what you're saying.
I guess, because I've heard the extra patchy scenes weren't all that good.
They're okay, but they're just like generic patchy segments.
Yeah, more or less, it's more or less what they cut out was most of the celebrity cameos. Like, there's a cameo from Robin Williams, a cameo from Will Ferrell, and a few other. Well, no, the one of the few cameos they kept was Pink, and the song she sang.
We got scary, something like that.
Sparrow hates Wii Sports.
No, he's quoting a SpongeBob episode. Wii Sports. I remember when they first invented sports. Sweet, sweet sports. I always hated it!
I swear, I love freaking chocolate with nuts.
Yeah.
Hey, Ma!
When
Hello,
did they first
young
invent
lady. Is there a mom home? Ma! What? What did you say?
And, I think the honor SpongeBob episodes, Snick should play the audio from his singing.
What singing?
What? You know what singing?
Oh fuck no. Fuck
Back when you were singing the Christmas special.
Ah, hell no. I'll give no, you want a SpongeBob song? I'll give you a SpongeBob song. Squidward is my best friend in the world. Squidward is my best friend in the sea. Hard to kick a soccer ball when you have no legs or hold a football with no arms.
Aren't they both footballs, though, if you think about it?
No, Humpty Dumpty will give you a football.
Humpty Dumpty. I didn't realize how evil he was until I watched Puss in Boots. How was the general reaction to Puss in Boots, the movie?
The movie, a lot of people thought it was fine. Yeah.
It's like a spin. It's like a spin-off of Shrek.
It is a spin-off of Shrek. Yeah.
Yeah, and Puss in Boots had his own fairy tale as well. And I actually saw some Netflix stuff on Puss in Boots.
Yeah,
like
there was a Netflix
stuff.
TV series.
Well, not the DreamWorks Puss in Boots, but like the original fairy tale Puss in Boots.
And then right around the time the DreamWorks Puss in Boots came out, there was this mockbuster made called The True Story of Puss in Boots, which was based on the original story, though it was pretty bad.
I think I saw that, and it was not good.
Yeah, like, Phalis and Bob Show reviewed it, and I saw both the reviews. Yeah, it's not that great. Like, legit, it was originally made in France, and then it was translated into English and released here. William Shatner voices freaking Puss in Boots in that movie, yet weirdly, he does the intro on the DVD. Phalis showed that William Shatner introduces both versions of the movie on the DVD, even though he doesn't do the voice in the French version, and he went as far as to freaking read cue cards of exactly what he said in English in French.
Wow.
Like, not like freaking Captain Kirk has to give an introduction because he's attached to it.
Wow. I'm trying to think. By the way, speaking of Nick and all that, well, not Nick, but just animation in general, but Nick. I was thinking about Nicktoons Racing, and around that time I go to Brandon's house, and we didn't play Nicktoons Racing, but we did play the Pac-Man racing game. Didn't you play that Pac-Man racing game? When you think
Yeah,
about
I
it,
have
thought
it. I
felt-
briefly live streamed it, yeah. But wait, does Brandon have Nicktoons Racing?
I don't think so. We just played normal Pac.
Yeah,
racing.
because, I mean, it's funny you bring up Nicktoons Racing. Have you seen my original Let's Play of it?
Invisible walls.
No, that was Cartoon Network with the invisible walls. No, Nicktoons Racing was one of my oldest videos. It's also one of the most viewed videos on my channel for some reason.
Wow.
Like, I don't know, like, legit, it was meant to be a 2 to 3 part series, but then I rage quit during the second part. And then I tried doing a revival Let's Play of it, but then I kind of stopped because I lost interest.
Are you gonna do a Are you gonna do the Nicktoons new Nicktoons racing game? Or not? Is it even Nicktoons based?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's not like freaking Cartoon Network Battle Crashers, where legit all they have is 5 shows represented, and that's it. Like, and they're all current, and they ignore everybody else. I think in that Nickelodeon racing game, I don't know if it's going to look that hot, but they're at least acknowledging all the shows throughout the channel's history. Like, they have newer characters.
Yeah, hey.
Like they have
Hey
newer
Arnold.
characters. Like, I'm pretty sure they have Lincoln Loud from the Loud House in there. I'm not sure, but they definitely have older characters as well, like the Rugrats, Hey Arnold, the likes.
Yeah. Somebody 6 years ago said you definitely aren't a 90s kid if you say that the new cartoons are terrible. The only one that's semi-enjoyable is The Legend of Korra, and that doesn't compare to the Avatar. That was 6 years ago in the Nicktoons racing video.
Yeah, because I think you don't see the original comment. The original comment was against, because I was making comments in the video saying how I hated the newer shows on Nickelodeon. And there was this kid who came in and was commenting, "No, the new shows don't suck. I mean, the old ones are fine, but the new ones don't suck."
Little did he know. They sucked.
Well, yeah, most of them didn't. Yeah, most of Nickelodeon's newer shows weren't all that hot, and even then, I don't watch them. Like, I know there's good ones, like Nickelodeon has Loud House, and then Cartoon Network has Gumball, but I just don't watch them because I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that I just don't like the modern art style and how almost everything looks the same. I mean, I know that Loud House is a bit more unique.
Loud House is like a comic book. Loud House is like
Loud House is like an old
60s
comic strip.
book.
Yes. Yeah, Loud House, like, almost remind me of, like, the old Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoons, but it's meant to be, like, a comic strip.
Did you ever watch Rocky and Bullwinkle back in the reruns of it?
No, I did not. Not really.
I
did.
haven't seen that, but I do remember watching Camp Lazlo and Boomerang a lot.
Yeah, I remember watching. I used to get old VHS tapes of back in the 90s. They used to have VHS of the old Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoons. They put all the shorts into one big VHS or something like that, or maybe was it? It was like
No. Yeah.
So you can watch one big episode, the whole saga, like the Bucks Top Saga or whatever saga it was.
Oh, wait a sec. You know that Rocky and Bullwinkle actually caused a big controversy once?
Really?
Yeah, like back in the 1960s, there was this point during the show where there would be a live action segment with I think the actor who played Bullwinkle basically holding a Bullwinkle puppet. And he would answer fan mail. Or he would give advice to the viewers. One day, the puppet segment closed with the Bullwinkle puppet saying, "Oh, all right, good night, kids, and make sure to take off the knobs from your TV sets. That way you can tune into next week's show forever and ever and ever."
And kids did that.
Kids did just that. They pulled the freaking knobs off the TV, and which would leave the TV channel stuck on the freaking network where the show was playing, and it wasn't as simple as just putting it back in to fix it. So of course, parents were all pissed off that kids were doing it, and they actually, the Bullwinkle puppet segment the following week, they quickly had to freaking say, kids, don't actually do that, don't actually do that. But the controversy had gotten so bad that they retired the puppet segments afterward.
Wham, wham, wham.
And a good majority of them are actually lost. I mean, on more recent DVD releases of the specials, the ones that survive actually were released as quite a few of the ones that are still around were released as bonus features, I believe, including the one that started the controversy. Well, actually, no. The one that started the controversy is available to watch online. Yes.
Oh, God. We should maybe set that spoilers now. Kids, don't do this at home. Is that the guy? Is that where they started that thing? Says don't try this
Possibly. I mean, I could also tell you the story of why football games go into overtime and delay programming afterward.
Okay.
So, has anyone heard of the Heidi game?
No.
No? So what happened is there was this highly awaited football match between two rival teams. I don't know who the teams are, like you'd have to look it up. But they figured this was going to be the bestest night ever. They were going to have the football game, a highly anticipated football game, and they were going to follow it up. The network was going to follow it up by premiering a TV movie adaptation of a story called Heidi for kids. Like, so the adults get their football and the kids get Heidi. I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. I'm not sure. So, the game goes on, and let's just say the game was super competitive. Like, legit, anytime the teams had a chance to take a break and formulate a plan with each other, I don't know what that's actually called in football, but any chance they had to take a break and strategize, they took it. And by the time the fourth quarter started, it was immediately obvious that the football game was not going to end on time, and they were going into overtime. So the network exec, the guy who was... There were two people in charge. The guy who was actually at the switch to control the football game, and there was the executive who reported directly to the president, I think. So there's all these people nervously looking at their watch and noticing that the game's not going to end on time, and there's the ultimate question they need to ask. Do they just keep playing the game, or do they start Heidi on time? So everyone is on the freaking phone trying to call each other. What do we do? What do we do? Because this was a highly anticipated event. They kept saying Heidi at 9 o'clock. Like, so they couldn't just play the... So they were figuring we can't just play the game on it and delay the screening. So eventually the president gets a hold of this and he's like, you know what? Just play the game. Just keep playing the game. Too bad the guy who was actually at the switch was unable to get a hold of the president because the phone lines were freaking jammed with people trying to get a hold of each other, trying to figure out what to do. So, the football game is reaching its peak. Like, one team is losing and the other team is winning by like 2 freaking touchdowns. And so the guy who is at the switch, he basically has to rely on gut instinct, and he's like, screw it, and he freaking flips the switch at 9 o'clock, and Heidi starts playing.
Whoa.
Fallout.
Oh, yeah. The West Coast apparently was able to view the game as scheduled, but the East Coast had to miss the end of the game because Heidi started playing.
You guys, I'll be back real fast.
And, yeah, let's just say the freaking network got flooded with so many telephone calls saying, what happened to the game? And the best part is they never went back to the game. Legit. All that happened was that when the game ended, the final score flashed on the screen. And let's just say it came at a very inappropriate time. Like, I've never actually seen this movie that played. All I know is that the final score came in during what was supposed to be a very touching scene. Like if I remember correctly, it was this disabled kid taking her first steps. And right as that happens, the freaking football game score comes up.
Heidi, isn't that about some girl from the Alps or whatever, or Switzerland?
Maybe. Like I've said, I've never actually seen an adaptation of this story, so I wouldn't know.
Neither have I, but I think I've heard about it.
Yeah, so let's just say freaking football fans everywhere were seriously pissed, especially when it was found that the losing team made a very sudden comeback and they got 2 touchdowns and ended up winning. Like one of the biggest comebacks in football history, and the East Coast had to miss it.
But what year was this?
Like, I think it was 1967, sometime in the late 60s.
So it was like before the internet could get on the phone, like, oh.
I mean, recordings of the game do survive, so at least there's that.
But it was hard to do back then.
Yeah, but normally football games were taped.
True.
So, yeah.
And so both sides were, the football people were mad the game got cut off TV, and the Heidi people were mad because they cut off that one part of that disabled kid.
I guess, yeah. In fact, you know what? I need to see exactly what the score cut off. So, yeah, let's just say in the immediate aftermath of the incident, I mean, of course, everyone was the network ended up justifying it, saying, oh, we didn't want to disappoint the children. Though, ultimately, they admit that they should, even though they justified it by saying they didn't want to disappoint kids across the country, they ultimately did say that it was a mistake to not let the game keep playing, so they made it a rule from then on that anytime a football game went into overtime, they would just keep playing it.
They could always, they could have started, like, Heidi, like, a few minutes later, I guess, or whatever.
No, like, I think the scores flashed on the screen about 15 minutes after the movie started.
It's like 15 minutes late, then, I guess.
In fact, now I'm gonna look. I'm on the Wikipedia page.
Hey, Schnick, do you watch a YouTube channel named The Alpha J Show?
Nope.
Yeah, I've seen a few of his videos, yeah.
I haven't.
I like some of his stuff, but some of his videos are a bit, like, clickbaity. Other than that, they're fine.
I mean, I don't know if they're that clickbaity, but I mean, I don't know, like, it depends on what kind of video it is, I suppose.
Like, I've been recommended him for a while, and I decided to finally check him out. And the one I decided to watch was how regular, or regular show High Score, how Cartoon Network handled a lawsuit. And when I watched it, it basically was just a review of the episode plus a side mention of the actual copyright of the actual episode. So that's just one thing I
And
didn't really
now
like.
the stream is crapping out, just as I feared. Now it's fine.
Wow. But after that, I just watched other videos.
Vendetta Records is saying I'm slow on topics. No, I was just going to this one thing. Now we're back to cartoon talking. But yeah, Vandalia, you were 100% correct. They did flash the news bulletin of the final score right during the scene. And Heidi fans were mad about one of the movie's more touching moments getting ruined by a football score.
Good, that guy was fired.
And the stream is now crapping.
If he gets everything working.